Hey everyone, in this video we are going to talk about where I think some of the biggest opportunities for growth are going to happen around Indianapolis, and if you're looking to get into one of those places while it's still fairly early, that this could be a pretty good time to do that. So we're going to get into that in this video. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with Living in Indianapolis. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome as well. So if you have questions about any of these places that we talk about today, or actually even any of the places that you'd be interested in Indianapolis or any of the surrounding cities and towns, then make sure you reach out any way that you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move anywhere in the Indy Metro. All right, so this video is getting into some of the opportunities where I think a lot of the opportunities, or at least, are going to be around Indianapolis. And this comes up from time to time with people calling or messaging, and even people that I'm meeting, clients I'm meeting, just where can I get in where it's maybe not as established yet? And I kind of want to be on the beginning end of that. So we're going to take a look just at really the Indianapolis Metro and kind of where it is established first, and then get into some of those opportunity places that could be surprising to you, but then again, might not be surprising. You might know about some of these places too. So we're going to just jump right into the maps and talk about these. All right, so first of all, we need to understand the counties in and around Indianapolis. This right here is, of course, Indianapolis, but Indianapolis is bigger than just the loop that you see here for 465. It really, for the most part, encompasses all of Marion County, with a few exceptions in here, like Speedway and some other places too that are excluded areas. But for the most part, we're looking at Marion County being pretty much Indianapolis. And there's about 2 million people or so in the whole Indianapolis metro. Now, Indianapolis is about 970,000 people. So that means there's close to 1 million people surrounding Indianapolis in all of the counties that surround Indianapolis. So let's take a look just at this real quick. These are what we consider, and this isn't necessarily a unique phrase, or a lot of places around the country that use this, but these are the donut counties around Indianapolis. So you can see Marion County here, and the true donut counties are the ones that share the most border with Marion County. So the big ones would be right here with Hamilton, Hendricks, Johnson, and Hancock. Although Shelby does share some border there with Marion County, Morgan does too. Boone is a little different. It shares some of the border here, but we'll talk about Boone in just a minute. But we're going to focus primarily on these four because this is where a lot of the rest of that population, that close to 2 million people, where it comes from. So if we just take a look at Hamilton County, this is where you find Carmel, Noblesville, Westfield, Fishers, some of the really popular suburbs around Indianapolis. And Hamilton County has roughly 373,000, pushing 375,000 people in that county. And Carmel's over 100,000, Fishers is over 100,000, so those make up most of it. But you've got Westfield, Noblesville in there. Noblesville's really gotten quite large. It's over 70,000 people now. But there's some other small towns in through Hamilton County as well. When you get over into Hendricks County, over here to the west, this is where you get places like, I'll take this stuff off here real quick for you guys. This is where you get Brownsburg, you have Avon, and Plainfield. Now those are some really nice suburbs around Indy. But when we're looking at Hendricks County, we're pushing 190,000 people or so. And for the most part, that 188, 190,000 people, they come from Brownsburg, Avon, and Plainfield. But you've got some other small towns through here that helped to round that number out. So it's relatively populated, but still growing. And 20 years ago, it wasn't anywhere near 188,000 people or so. It's really grown a lot in the past 20 years. And then when we get down here to the south, in Johnson County, right here, this is where Greenwood's located. And you've got some other small towns in there as well. But Johnson County, it's pretty similar to the size of Hendricks County. It's about 170,000 or so, a little bit smaller, but relatively comparable over there to Hendricks. But it's broken up. Greenwood is pretty large, but it's got a lot of other small towns through there, and it helps to round out that 170,000. So if you're looking for the places that have really, like we're talking about here at the beginning of this video, the most opportunity for growth, and the growth is definitely what we're beginning to see now. It's going to be over here in Hancock County, and then up here in Boone County as well. So again, it's these guys right here, just to the east and just to the northwest. Now I think as far as the growth is concerned, the really explosive growth that's probably going to happen over the next 10 years, 20 years, it's probably going to happen in Hancock County to the east. And so we'll get into the map here a little bit and kind of get into why that is, and also what the opportunity really looks like right now, just in the current state. So first of all, when somebody looks at Greenfield, it can be a little bit confusing. So Greenfield does come up from time to time when I'm talking to people about, hey, would you consider Greenfield? You know, if you're open geographically to a lot of different places, it could be a fit. And the reason I say this is because Greenfield has certainly some variety. It has a little space. It's not really a suburb of Indianapolis. It's a whole separate city, and it's kind of one of the last, if not the last city that hasn't really been merged with Indianapolis. But it can be deceiving when you look on the map. Like this Google map here, it looks like Greenfield is way out here to the east, but it's actually not. There's Greenfield addresses all the way over here to this county line. So if we're looking just, let's say, at this I-70 and Mount Comfort Road exit, this Pilot Travel Center, you look at it, it's a Greenfield address. If we get over here to this Amazon warehouse, which is huge, it's a Greenfield address. And if you get all the way over here, you're going to find some different neighborhoods all through here. These are going to be Greenfield addresses, and you got to get really past Cumberland and deep into Marion County over here before you start to see Indianapolis addresses. So you can really see the difference when you're looking at 21st Street going through Indianapolis. Draw a little line here. 21st Street, when it turns into West 100 North, it's the same street, but now it's a county road versus a street. Now you know you're out of Marion County and you're basically in Greenfield. So it's one, I guess, easier way to tell the difference between them. Anyhow, the Greenfield area and what Greenfield really makes up is a lot more. So we know you've got Greenfield addresses through there, but if you look at a satellite image, you can certainly see over here in this area a lot more density. So there's a lot of homes, there's a lot of businesses through there, and then over here is that part of Greenfield that you really see on a map that's shaded in. All of this right here, this whole area, is really pretty open. And it's not like there's nothing there. Certainly not that, because if we zoom in, you can see some neighborhoods through here. There's some neighborhoods over here, but boy, there's a lot of open space. Certainly a lot. And this is changing, without a doubt. And I'll show you a couple of places. We have McCordsville up here to the north. We have Fortville up here to the north. These are beginning to grow. Now, Fortville, of course, it's not very big. It's pushing 5,000 people or so. McCordsville, it's over 10,000 now. It's about 11,000 people. And because Fishers up here to the north has expanded and grown so much, out here east of Geist and east towards Fortville that it's made those suburbs grow. It's made those towns grow. So they are continuing to grow, but they're in Hancock County. And they are pushing their way south, especially McCordsville. So all of this in this area, this is all beginning and will further fill in with all kinds of things. It's going to fill in with commercial. It's going to fill in with residential. It's going to be a variety of things going through there over the years, over the next 20 years or so. But you can tell even down here, this is a really crazy area. At least it has been recently. Amazon has a huge warehouse. This is a different one than this one over here that I just showed you a minute ago. This is a giant warehouse, and just to give you a sense of how large this warehouse is, all of these are all semi-trailer trailers, and you can see all of them up against the building here. And if you're driving along 300 North, and I've done this many times at night, and you can look into the windows there, it's pretty crazy seeing how much stuff is actually in that warehouse. But you'll notice that it's pretty close to Indianapolis Regional Airport, which is the second biggest airport around Indianapolis, next to Indianapolis International. This is a phenomenal airport. You can see two different runways here. It's a great airport for business. They can get in and out of here very easily. It's super conveniently located around Indianapolis. But this giant building right here, this is the brand new Walmart distribution center. This is the biggest Walmart distribution center in the country. And this is from Supermarket News, but this was in a lot of different publications around the country and of course around here. Walmart opens its largest fulfillment center near Indianapolis, 2.2 million square feet. That's hard to really wrap your mind around how big that is. But just to give you a sense of how big this building is, you can see some of the cars out here in this satellite, and then all in these shadows, all of these trailers for semis parked right against it. This is one of the biggest buildings that I have ever seen. It is absolutely huge. So a big company like Walmart put their biggest distribution center out here in Hancock County, very close to Indianapolis Regional Airport, which they are going to absolutely utilize. This is saying something. So there is growth coming out this way. So amazingly, in Hancock County, when we say there's, back to this county map, when we say there's about 2 million people around all of Indianapolis, there's only about 77,000 in Hancock County. In this entire county right now, this whole thing, 77,000 people. So it is absolutely ready and ripe for growth. So you have Greenfield in there, which is about 25,000 people. I mentioned McCordsville and Fortville. Together, they're close to 16,000 people or so. Down here to the south, let's make this a little bit easier to see. You've got New Palestine, which is growing, not very fast, but growing. And it's not quite 4,000 people, but part of Hancock County. You are going to see a tremendous amount of fill through here in the next 20 years, just because there's so much room and it's incredibly convenient. In fact, you've got this exit right here on 600 off of I-70. You've got State Road 9, the exit off of I-70 there. And then inside the next 5 years or so, at least 5 years from when this video is being made, there will be another exit right here. And so when the federal government comes in and says, hey, we're going to actually put an exit off of an interstate, that means there's going to be a lot more happening right through here because it's going to be necessary to accommodate the traffic. This part of I-70 has already gone through several expansions. It's getting close to completing its last one, hopefully for a long period of time right now. And it's already 3 lanes. It's incredibly nice, basically from a little bit west of Greenfield all the way down into Indianapolis. And the traffic on there, the only time it's ever bad at all is if there's a construction project that's closing lanes or there's an accident. Other than that, it is not an issue going east, west on I-70 right through there. And the good thing about a lot of this is that if we take a look at this county, this is a good thing for a lot of people, is that if you're looking for something reasonably priced, under $500,000, let's say, there's a lot of opportunity out here. So this is all Hancock County, under $500,000. There's a lot of new construction over in Hancock County, obviously, since it is growing. You're going to find that really all through McCordsville. You're going to find that a lot through Fortville. This bunch right here, this is a new construction neighborhood. Over here in McCordsville, lots of new construction neighborhoods. And then as you go further south, all around I-70, and you get over into Greenfield proper, I can stop this. There's a lot of mix through here, so you get slightly older homes, and then you get a lot of newer homes over here on this side. And then coming over this direction down into New Pal, it's the same. You get a lot of new construction neighborhoods through there. So a lot will be filled in through that whole area. The same really can be said up here, because I did mention we wanted to talk about Boone County. Up here where you have Whitestown, Lebanon, and Zionsville. Zionsville's right here. There's a lot of space in between Lebanon and Zionsville and Indianapolis as well. So if we look back at that satellite, you can see kind of the bunch here for Lebanon, and then you start getting into Whitestown and Zionsville. Zionsville's all through this particular area. There's a lot of space in here. You get into Lebanon, under 500,000, quite a few new construction neighborhoods going through there. You get some older homes too, like this one right here. This is a super cool looking place on Meridian Street in Lebanon, built in 1922. You get some really cool places right there in downtown Lebanon. But of course, if you want something like that, you're going to be a lot more limited. There aren't that many of those homes ever on the market. So you're going to have a lot more new construction opportunities in a place like Lebanon. And then you get over here into Whitestown. This is a very fast growing area. You can see a lot of this up here. It's barely on the map at this point. New construction, new construction, new construction, all through there in Whitestown. So all of that's going to be filling in through the years, and you're going to have some opportunity in there too, because Boone County is pretty close to the same size as far as the population is concerned as Hancock County. You're talking 77, 78,000 people or so. But I think there will be some growth there. I think in the next 10 years or so, the pace of the growth in Hancock County is probably going to be a little bit faster than what you have there in Boone County. There's just a lot more open space. There's a lot more opportunity and ease to get into that open space too. You come from the north, you can come from Indianapolis in the west, and pretty easily access places like McCordsville, Fortville, Greenfield, New Pal, all through there. I-65 does run through Boone County, but it will be just a little bit different in your access to some of those other towns that you're going to find through Boone County. So there you go. I've got a couple of places for what I think is probably going to be some pretty big growth over the years around Indianapolis. If you're looking to get in a place that's still relatively early, then these could be it. So if you have questions about Hancock County or Boone County and any of the towns that you'd actually find, the cities and towns that you'd find in either one of those counties, make sure you reach out any way that you know how, and we'll catch you in the next one.